What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another podcast. Today, I got the boy, Brez Scales. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm chilling. We're out here in Scottsdale, as usual, in the regular studio. I wanted to have Brez on because he's crushing it right now, especially the last couple months, popping off the CEO of car accidents, I would say. And we'll get into that later in this video here. But Brez, for the people that are watching that don't know you, go ahead and do a quick recap who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Brez. Basically what I do is I run advertisements for businesses on social media platforms, so TikTok ads, Facebook ads. Over the past couple of years, did that kind of as a freelancer and branched into building out an agency for doing that. And then just kind of been scaling that agency up. And now I have an offer as well where I teach people how to get into it as a freelancer as well, and then how to eventually branch into building an agency. So almost kind of like SMMA.
Okay.
But, more so targeted towards starting it as a freelancer, considering that makes more sense than hiring people to do a job for you that you've never done yourself.
Yeah.
But
Now, how long have you been doing that for specifically?
so I got into that quick story basically by running my own clothing brand, and then learned how to do the marketing for that. And then that's kind of when I saw a gap in the market for marketing for streetwear brands. So that's kind of when I started to take it more serious, and that was about 2-3 years ago now. So
Damn.
I'm doing it for about 2-3 years.
Okay. And for people that are just seeing you online now, they probably think like you just came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Give us some of the stories and some of the painful times where 2-3 years ago you were trying to do this, you were trying to make something happen back at home, and you weren't having success. What kept you driven to keep pushing forward?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had, as a lot of other people would say probably too, a lot of failures throughout my journey. I tried a lot of other business models, crypto, trading, drop shipping, and then that's what got me into starting my own brand, which then got me into what I do now. But I would say the whole kind of motivation for it all was just like not as cliche as it is to say not living like the average life of just like going to work, going to school, shit like that. I just kind of knew that there was more to life as far as experiences, and wanted to take advantage of that. So I just once I saw that first dollar come in, I was like, all right, it's time to put fucking foot on the gas.
Yeah.
And just keep going. And that was kind of like my whole motivation. I've always just wanted to do the social media stuff, the online business stuff, and
But what was the background then of like, you're trying all this stuff. You're a young dude at the time, especially still now, but you're at home in Wisconsin, right?
yeah.
Okay. What are your parents thinking of this?
I don't think I think a little bit now they understand it. I don't think they ever did really until like recently.
After you crashed the Aventador?
Yeah.
Or that guy hit you, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't really know, to be honest, what they think. We haven't really went too far into depth with it. I think it's a little like over their heads as far as like, okay, he's like making as much as he is. But obviously they see it with the car purchases, the watch purchases, stuff like that. And they've started to see a lot of the content too. I know they watch my YouTube videos a little bit and see kind of the life I live. And then they actually, a couple months ago, came out here for the first time to visit me and like saw it in person. And I had a specific conversation with my dad, because before he thought all those big purchases were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And now after seeing it in person, he was like, okay, like I
This
kind
is
of get
real.
it now. I get it now.
Yeah.
So I think to them it's definitely a little crazy, but to be honest, I don't know totally like what they actually do think. They're not very like open about it. We don't really go too far into depth like on that topic.
Interesting.
I guess, but
I usually, when I ask that question, I mean, obviously, the whole world of the online space is so different than what like our parents and old heads are used to.
Right.
Like, they don't understand it at all. So it always comes down to just like dumbing it down. But hey, that probably keeps your life more simple too.
yeah, no, it does. It's definitely a lot of people I always hear talk about how it's kind of like a weird connection with like friends from back home or family back home. I don't get that at all. Like it's I go home to visit my family and it's the same shit as it was when I was in high school. Like it's no weird energy. Like they're just super cool about it. They don't even really bring it up that much. Like the money I make, the things I'm doing. Like it's just like you're my brother, you're my son, whatever. It's the same shit.
How about like, do you talk to high school friends still, or
Yeah.
like, do you run into those people back at home?
I mean, a lot of my friends from back home, high school friends and stuff, I would still call like my day one homies. Still keep in touch with a lot of them. Like they're all hella cool dudes, and they like supported me from the beginning when it was nothing. So like
That's
I'll
good.
make sure to never forget that.
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
Super rare. One of your most big recent purchases that right now you don't have possession of, it's in the shop.
Yep.
Go ahead and tell us the story of you going and buying your Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah. So, I mean, before that, I had a Lamborghini Urus and a Corvette too. But an Aventador was always like my dream car. And I would still say to this day the SVJ is like my dream car because I have the S. But um, it was kind of unexpected. I didn't think it would come as soon as it did because I went to, LAC, right? In
Oh, yeah.
Scottsdale. Yeah. I went to LAC and, bro, they had the perfect spec. And so I ended up just test driving it just to kind of see, not thinking that I would purchase it anytime soon. But that was the second car I'd ever purchased from them. So then we started to talk numbers a little bit, and they were willing to work with me considering it was the second car. And, I mean, they got me at the numbers I wanted, and I just said, fuck it, I'll pull the trigger. Like, it's always been a dream of mine. It'll be good content. Like, I'll make it back, fuck it. So I bought it, and then 5 days later, a dickhead blew his red light, hit me head on, and now the Aventador is in the shop for the next probably 3 or 4 months.
Oh, that long.
Yeah. They got to order all those parts from Italy, so it's got to come from over the pond, and yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but
Because you've had something similar happen too with the car you drove here, right?
with them three,
Yeah.
that was 2 hours after I drove it off the lot. I got rear-ended leaving a car meet. Arizona Drive Club?
Yes.
Yeah. I was leaving that. I bought the car. I was like, fuck it. I was on a 2-man, bro. On a 2-man with my homie and these 2 girls. And we go to this car meet for something to do. And then driving from the car meet, pull up to this light. Everyone was kind of driving fast. It was all the people leaving the meet together. So everyone was kind of driving fast. And then the light turned red. I went to stop. And then all of a sudden, just boom, got hit right in the
It's
ass.
smashed.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What was that trauma like?
Bro. Okay, so the first time I was like, it was like a surreal moment. Like, I was just kind of out of it. Like, what the fuck just happened? I was pissed, but like, first thing that came to my mind was like, content. I gotta start filming this shit. I was vlogging too, which was perfect. So we were vlogging, just recording it and shit, getting all the content, but it was just like, fuck, dude. And then I started to see the views come in. I was like, okay,
This is worth it.
Maybe this crash
Another
is
accident.
worth it. Like, I'll have the car back in 3 months. I'm getting all this traction. Maybe it's worth it. And then with the Aventador, though, that was like, bro, fuck. Like, I just spent $400,000 on this car. 5 days later, the whole front end is smashed. And then it got really bad. The guy didn't even end up having insurance. So now my insurance is paying for the damages. But the car depreciated probably like $70,000-$80,000, and there's no one to cover that because he doesn't have insurance. So that's out of my pocket. But also with that, first instinct that came to mind was content. And I happened to be vlogging again, which was perfect. And just started filming, and shit started going viral.
Dude, yeah,
again,
you
and
milked
now it's
that.
like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You executed that pain point so perfectly.
Yeah.
And then just like, boom,
Yeah.
millions of views, millions of views. You really
100%.
capitalized that. So
Yeah.
I bet that car made itself back just in the last month.
Yeah. And then it was perfect because then the dude, after he saw all of that stuff on social media, because he works at a high school apparently in Arizona, and all the kids from the high school started seeing the video story, sharing it, commenting on it. So I'm sure he saw them then and decided he's going to try to sue me now. My insurance company called me the other day. They're like, fuck this dude. We're not giving him a penny. So unless he were to try to sue me personally, which he's a Lyft driver, I don't think he has the money to hire a lawyer. He's probably not going to sue me. So
All right,
should be
well,
chilling.
that's good.
It's all
That-
good content though.
Yeah, very good content. But you got to cook up for another 6 months from now, another car accident.
Yeah. Shit, I'm gonna have to buy an SVJ and then crash that.
Bro, imagine. That'd be a 3-piece, the M3, Aventador, and then an SVJ. Well, then what is your view on cars right now and car purchases?
That's a good question. People keep asking me that, and bro, I'm such a sporadic person, like so impulsive. Like with the Aventador, I didn't think I was gonna buy that. 2 days later, I owned it. Like, but so right now I would say no car purchases for a while. Wait till I get the Aventador back. I'm also gonna move to Miami around the time I'll get the Aventador back. Start to kind of do my little build with the Aventador, rock the M3 and the Aventador, and then I don't know. At some point, I'd like to get probably like a GT3 RS
Oh,
or
yeah.
even an SVJ, but. I don't think I'll buy any cars for a little bit.
Okay.
I think those 2 crashes were kind of my sign to
Pump the
slow down.
brakes, figuratively and literally. Okay, awesome. Let's go back into more of the business world then, in terms of, where you're at now, the clients you're dealing with, the people that you're helping, and what does that look like on a daily basis? You hopping on calls with these people that are your clients, or are you just like on the back end managing ads? What does it look like?
Yeah. So as far as the agency goes, so that is pretty autopilot for me when I want it to be, but I like to definitely be involved in it. It's to a point where kind of I'm like the face of it and just the guy kind of calling the shots and telling people what to do. I have a full-time partner with that runs a lot of stuff for me. Shout out Mason. And then all of the employees, the cool part about my agency is all of the employees that work for the agency were all people who came from my program.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
they went through my program and then got a job with me for the agency, even the sales team and everything. So that is, I'm pretty hands off when it comes to actually media buying itself, like running the ads myself. That's kind of where the employees fall into place. But
Okay.
I'm kind of just in a position now where it's like structuring, systemizing, and just putting people in the right spots.
Okay, that's really good then. You focus on a lot of content now, especially.
Yeah, that I would say that's probably my biggest job is content now, as well as, yeah, I would probably just say content and just making sure everything's in line with the agency, with the program, like just kind of overseeing everything and, like I said, putting people in the right spots to do the job.
And where do you see the future of personal branding?
That's a good question. I think it'll only get bigger until it eventually hits a cap. I think at some point it will hit a cap, but I think for the next at least couple of years, it's only uptrending. So I think to anyone watching this, building a personal brand is a great route to go if you're in it for the right purpose. There's a lot of people who do it wrong. A lot of people who aren't really even doing what they say they do, that are selling courses or whatever. Like I documented through TikTok at least. I wish I would have been better about it on YouTube, but I didn't start YouTube till more recently. But I documented my whole process from when I was in high school doing freelance brand scaling to when I went to college to when I dropped out of college to when I moved here to now. Like I documented the whole thing. You can see the process. There's a lot of people who just start posting content of Lambos and shit and are selling a course for something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who do it wrong. If you're doing it for the right reasons and the right, like, you're trying to do the right thing with it, I think it's definitely a play. I've seen a lot of people change their lives off of building a personal brand.
Yeah. I mean, even me, like, with my own stuff, I didn't really try to get in the online space until the end, like, very end of 2022. And then I didn't have an initial breakthrough until February of 2023. And that was when I had my first podcast with Sneeko. And then from there, he's the only guest I've paid for a podcast. And since then, it's just been like snowball effect.
Yeah.
And I think
You've had some crazy people on here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun. It's like the one thing I actually do that I really, really enjoy. For anybody watching now that hasn't started a personal brand yet, I think it's probably the number one asset that has fueled my entire life and success in all realms. Would you say something similar or no?
Yeah, honestly, I would. I think that me building my personal brand was the best decision I've ever made. Like starting to post content about myself, like building Brez Scales to what it is today.
What it is now, where it's going.
Yeah.
What was the main kind of like, okay, I'll do it factor for you to start posting on YouTube?
Well, a lot of my friends, like once I got close with like Fredo, Pierre, and them, they were posting on YouTube consistently, and they were like, "Why the fuck are you not posting on YouTube?" So I started to, and like it did pretty decent. I never really had anything where it was like, boom, that's motivation to go hard on YouTube until like I bought the Urus, and that video got like 60K views or something, which was my first video that like did pretty decent. I was like, okay, I got to start taking YouTube a little more serious. Started taking it a little more serious, kind of found like my niche of content and the content people really fuck with, and started to see the progression. And I was like, then I started to like really enjoy making content, same way as like you enjoy filming podcasts. It's like it gets fun, and like the process of seeing a video come together and like getting to go out and do some stuff for content, it's all fun. So now I like genuinely enjoy making content, and as well as it like inspires a lot of people, and that's really cool to me too, that like a lot of my viewers are watching my videos and like getting motivation from it, or like, I don't know, as cliche and corny as it sounds, helping change people's lives. But
This is providing that insight on like, where you were, now where you're at, and where you're going with it. And for somebody to kind of take a look in on that, who's not where they want to be yet. Like I'm sure you used to do it too. For other people, you used to watch their content and be like, I want to be like this guy. I want to have these traits. I want to have these things. And then you made a valid point a moment ago. You said like when you posted the video of your Urus, that was the one that hit. What do you think of the guys and the kids on YouTube? I say kids purposefully that just go out and buy these cars when they can't afford it just to try and get some clout. Because a lot of people do that. I think
you almost gotta kind of respect it because they're putting a lot on the line doing that, and that was kind of a little bit me with the Urus.
Okay,
too. Was like I was cash flowing a good amount. Here's the thing, like net worth, like liquid in my bank account or whatever, is probably wasn't where it should be, but the cash flow was there. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep this momentum going and
keep snowballing it.
Yeah, it worked. So like, you almost kind of got to respect it, but at the same time, it's stupid as fuck. I look at someone like, for example, TJR. Like, that dude's probably got 5-10 M's at least. Not trying to pocket watch if he's watching this, but like, and he just bought a Cullinan.
Yeah,
like he's smart. He's smart. So shout out TJR. But for a lot of people, it's pretty stupid. But also at the same time, kind of gotta respect it. The one thing I can't do, bro, is the people who rent cars and shit and try to act like it's theirs. Like, that is like, okay, that's over the line. But
I think that just to kind of not validate, but kind of to clear up my point or question was like, when I think of that or when I see that, I just imagine the 19-year-old like Miami trying to live paycheck to paycheck. Like, obviously you're cash flowing, you already have your foundation set with that. I think it's the people and the kids that are trying to fool others to get their foot in the door with things.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's different for sure. So don't be one of those guys.
Yeah.
But right now, your info product where you teach people basically how to become a freelancer for brands, how are you helping complete beginners, or are you helping intermediate people? What does that look like?
So it's kind of all across the board, from beginner all the way to like people who have a brand that are doing like $100K a month and just want kind of consulting on it as far as the media buying side of things goes, and scalability, like vertically. So like marketing. So there's a good amount of people who join that are brand new to online business and looking to get into freelance brand scaling, haven't signed a client or anything, and it teaches everything from A to Z. And I can confidently say, like, my program is very, very fucking good. Pierre's like my partner for it. We're all about service delivery because that's the way to scale a program. Like, your program's gonna go like this and then this if your service delivery is shit. Yeah. And if the service delivery is good, that's how you actually scale. Because a lot of people are all marketing, no service delivery. And we try to emphasize hard the service delivery of the program. So a lot of beginners joining, learning how to signing their first client, and then learning how to actually do the service delivery of running the ads for that client. Other people joining that have their own brand already or have clients already that are looking to branch into like building an agency or looking to branch into like scaling their brand further. Like, I had a guy that I onboarded 2 days ago, and he sells like car parts for BMW for everything pretty much. And they did like close to $1 million last year. And he's just looking to take it to the next level. He did that all organic. He doesn't know how to run ads. So he joined looking to learn how to run ads. But he could have hired our agency to run it for him as well, but he wanted to learn himself. So that's kind of where that difference comes into play. There's a lot of people who have their own brands or whatever and want to come directly and just have my agency scale it. But there's also people out there that want to learn how to do it.
Of course. You know, I think I saw a clip about always being a student in the game and having a mentor, right? So what are your thoughts on having a mentor, whether you're at 10K a month, 50K a month, or 100K a month? Do you think you should always have one or no?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I made $250,000 last month, and I have 2 mentors. Two. I both recently that I hired. One for the agency, and then one just kind of some bullshit on the side for crypto. Just to help me kind of use my cash flow more to my advantage. Just to
leverage it more.
Right. But we just brought on a a new mentor for the agency, more of like a coach role. We're gonna have like a couple calls a month with him, and he's kind of just gonna answer questions and just guide us to answer the questions basically for us to help clear up what we need to do to get to where we want to be. So just hired him, and I mean his agency's doing 8 figures a year. So
Oh, wow.
there's levels to this shit. And
What
I
kind of
understand
agency
that.
is it, if you don't mind me asking?
It's same thing as us, just
Okay.
media buying for brands. Their main niche they work in, I think, is like health and beauty, as ours is streetwear.
There was some guy who launched a streetwear brand. I think Pierre was talking to me about him a long time ago, like last year. And it was a very, very good drop.
Caprice?
Yes, that's who it was.
It's one of our clients.
Okay, were you helping him at the time as well?
We didn't start working with him till more recently. I've been a coach inside of his program for a long time, the marketing coach for it. Not anymore, I'm not, but I was for a long time. Back when you were talking to Pierre, I was.
Okay.
But we didn't start running ads for him until probably 4 or 5 months ago, because he was all organic. And then finally, like, I was on his ass, Caprice, let me run ads for your brand. Like, it's just a whole nother layer on top of what you're doing organically. And he was finally like, all right, fuck it, we'll do it. And then never looked back since we started.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I got it mixed up. I remember I like how everyone pivoted from the growth operating term to be something different.
Yeah.
It was just getting overplayed.
Yeah.
But no, that's dope. And going back to the mentor conversation, I'm on the same page as you. I think every step of the way, you should have someone that's 1 to 2 steps ahead of you that has already taken the steps to where you want to go.
I agree.
Like otherwise, bro, you're going to be spinning your wheels, not really having any sort of guidance and kind of testing things and experimenting, wasting time, wasting resources, a waste in general. So how did you vet for a good mentor?
With crypto, it was just a kid that I've known for a little bit who's going fucking stupid in the whole like meme coin craze right now. And I was just like, yo, how much to pay you for like access to your Discord or mentor or whatever? He was like $4K. I was like, okay, fine. And he just posts like calls, and I'll just ask him a question like once a week, like, hey, you think this is a good coin to throw some capital at? And he's like, yeah. So that's not really all that serious, kind of just like a little side thing. But for the agency, it was this client we outreached actually that's doing like 40 mil per year. And they were like, we already have a marketing team. So then my partner, for whatever reason, started kind of digging into who their marketing team was. We always just kind of do like market research and like study other agencies and what they're doing, who their clients are, what their clients are doing, stuff
Which
like
is
that.
smart, yeah.
Yeah. So he ended up finding that agency, the founder of it, and then kind of just reached out to the guy like, hey, do you do any sort of consulting, coaching? And the guy was like, yeah, kind of just do it as a little side hobby. We got on a call with him. This dude went on like 2 different calls with us without even taking payment. So like that right there was a green flag to me. Like, okay, this guy actually cares. He's not like just looking to take our money. He's a real genuine dude. Agency's crushing it. So I was literally on the call with the dude like, yeah, just let me know you need my email or is it a payment link or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, we'll worry about that later. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
trying
really
to get you paid, but
That's really good.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a good process then. And I like how you guys basically outreached him, and then here you are. He's somebody that's kind of guiding you to the next steps.
Yeah.
So if you don't ask, you may never know what opportunities you're missing, or what opportunities you're missing, I should say. What are your guys' main outreach methods? Is it cold email, outbound DMs? What is it?
Yeah, both
Yeah.
pretty much. Just as omni-channel as we can get. So every platform we can find of a brand, we're shooting out on it. A lot of our leads are coming inbound though.
I believe that.
That's why I'm so heavy on content, because a lot of them are coming inbound. But for a lot of those bigger clients, they're not sitting there watching Brez Scales on YouTube.
No.
So we got to go to them. But then obviously my personal brand helps a lot when they come to my page and see all the stuff I'm doing. So I just have basically employees in my Instagram account sending outreach,
Okay.
sending cold email, Twitter, whatever platform they can find the brand on. We're sending a message on it.
Yeah, you're hitting inbound side and outbound,
Yeah.
which I think is obviously the best play to do that. Now, when you basically started posting YouTube videos less than a year ago, really, what was that breaking point for when actually you had your inner circle on TikTok, right, during that time period?
Yeah, we started that. So real quick, we started that back last spring. And the reason we did start that was because we had so many inbound leads coming to the agency. and a lot of them either didn't have the budget to work with us or weren't qualified to work with us. So I was like, we are leaving so much money on the table. I'm going to create a program to teach these people how to run ads for their own brand. That way, brands that aren't qualified to work with us, downsell them into the program. Yeah. Brands that maybe don't quite have the budget to work with us directly, downsell them into the program. And that's how that started. But what was the original question?
No, I was gonna say I didn't really have one. I kind of got it mixed up when you were launching the coaching and info product program. Was it TikTok that really launched that to like the stratosphere, or was it YouTube recently that really kind of went crazy with it?
TikTok, it definitely did good off the rip. Like, we were pretty shocked with how it did off the rip, but nothing compared to what it has been doing lately. Mm-hmm. So really just kind of both. Mm-hmm. More so the TikTok. I don't really funnel TikTok traffic to that much. I funnel the TikTok traffic to the YouTube, and then just basically on YouTube document my life.
The YouTube funnel is unmatched.
Yeah. I basically like I call my YouTube content like work vlogs. I just vlog myself throughout the day, whether I'm working, whether I'm going to a car meet, dinner, whatever I'm doing, I just pick up the camera and I vlog it. Like, everyone fucks with my YouTube because of how like raw it is.
I've watched a handful of your videos and it's very refreshing.
Yeah.
No crazy cuts, nothing weird. You kind of just place your camera over here and you'll be on your computer. And you got the crazy ass view in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, this dude's really out here right now.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. YouTube, for anyone also is watching that doesn't have a personal brand, doesn't have a channel, my own input, I'm curious to hear what you say too, is like, if you're not making content on any platform right now, YouTube is the best for long form for, I believe, higher ticket products.
For sure.
And
it's just nurturing them to another level.
Exactly. Because like there's a stat where it's like somebody has to watch 7 hours of your content on average before they feel comfortable buying from you or something as like a cold lead or cold traffic. We're getting done a lot of that right now in 30 minutes or a full hour after this. We're for either me or for you, right? People get to see behind the scenes who Brez is, who Frank is. And I think if you're not kind of vlogging or not kind of talking and providing some sort of value online, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, whether it's for a low ticket community or building up some sort of wait list or email list for a high ticket program where you're specifically talking about a niche or industry of your expertise. Just as an example too, one of my friends, Jacob, I mentioned earlier before we started filming, he started recording just like random insights of his dating life. He's 29 and he went through a divorce a few years ago, and he's just giving like such raw, uncut content and like truths to where now several of his videos on YouTube that are like 8 minutes long have been getting thousands and thousands and thousands of views just out of nowhere, just because one day he decided to pick up the camera and start talking.
Yeah.
So I know I rambled there, but I think that's a testament to the power of YouTube and getting your thoughts out there. And now I'm sure since you've brought in so much more attention and new attention, you've been getting a lot more haters.
Actually, I've been really surprised with how minimal that has been.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after the car?
It's gotten better. As I've grown, the hate ratio has went down.
What?
Yeah. Like, I was looking through I posted a YouTube video yesterday. I was looking through the comments today, and there was like maybe 1 or 2 hate comments out of like probably 200. Like, it's very minimal now. And like, even people like making videos and stuff about me or whatever, like hating, like, is kind of non-existent. Knock on wood, but like, I just like, I don't know what it is. I just like don't really get that much hate.
The only hater was the guy where he's like, nice rental. In and out, right?
The IRL hater, yeah.
Those guys, but that guy is a loser. Yeah. Grade A loser. But that was another clip that went viral, right?
Yeah. Viral as fuck. one of my clip pages clipped that and it got like 10 million views.
Oh, I didn't even know I had that much.
I posted it. It got like couple mil. Like, yeah,
bro.
Cross platforms, that video got so much traction.
I have actually a question I just thought of right now, and it goes back to your guys scaling the info side. How have you guys been able to adapt so quickly to deliver such an inflow of new customers and new people?
Definitely a lot of brainstorming. I wouldn't say there's like an hour that goes by where my brain is not racing either a content idea, how to make the program better, how to make the agency better, or at least something to better business overall. Like, my brain is just constantly racing. But Pierre's definitely been a huge help. He kind of comes up with a lot of the ideas to make the program better and then puts me on executing it. So it's just back to kind of the whole like putting the right people in the right positions with the business. It's a lot of me doing that. That way I can look at a lot of that stuff and stay on top of it. So it's just a lot of like hard work, honestly. Like people see a lot of the stuff I'm posting and think like, oh, this dude's like living the luxurious life, out doing whatever he wants in the middle of the day. Like I'm not. I'm in the crib like a lot, just working. So, and then just, like I said, hiring the right people for the right stuff. So, boom, we need to get on top of making a new module for closing clients. All right, I'm going to get my closer from the agency, get him on it, get it done within the next week.
You also mentioned something earlier a moment ago, which I think is important. And it's like people see one thing online, but they don't see how your brain 24/7, like you said, as like whether you're an in-person entrepreneur, business owner, or an online entrepreneur, that shit doesn't shut off. Like
It doesn't.
24/7, bro. I'll be hanging out with my friends or hanging out with my girlfriend or whatever the case is. Midnight last night, we're watching Game of Thrones. We're on season 5. I get a new inbound lead. This guy's like, "Yo, send me invoice, send me payment link," because he lives in like Sweden or something. And I was like, boom, like that doesn't shut off.
No.
I'm trying to go to bed.
It's time to collect payment. It's time to collect
Oh yeah, I'm missing that Whop invoice right now. But no, it just kind of shows if you want to get into this game and get to any sort of level of, more than average success, be prepared to be working more hours than a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important too, is figuring out a balance for you to enjoy it. You said that you go out and you still film things. You made filming and content creation fun for yourself. I think something maybe people struggle with is trying to figure out a way to find their groove with it. And then they have to experiment with it.
I mean, just back to the whole, like, you have to be ready. You have to be fucking ready to, like, grind.
Yeah.
Like, and just constantly be thinking about business. I honestly cannot tell you the last day that I have just taken the day off completely. Like, even on Christmas, I was doing work. Maybe only for a couple hours, like, step away, do a little thing
Me too.
here and there, go back, hang with family, like, whatever. But, like, it is just constant. But it's good. Like, I enjoy it. I love that. Like, it's fun.
I think it's fun too. The only time it gets annoying is when people are being annoying.
Yeah.
But of course, that's always going to happen no matter what. Do you think as a hyper successful individual, you kind of have to be a little bit crazy to keep pushing for new levels and new levels?
For sure. You got to be fucking delusional, bro.
Where do you think that comes from?
For me?
Yeah, you personally.
I would say, bro, I've always just, like, been like that. Like, I've always just kind of been a person that's, like, takes risks and just doesn't give a fuck. Just loves, like, the thrill of life. So, like, for me, it's just, like, I'm all for every move. Like, name some crazy shit, I'm down to do it. But I would say, I don't really know how to answer that question totally. Like, I would say just, like, the potential outcome of things really motivates me. Whether it's, I don't know, like, high-risk situations, the potential outcome motivates me. Like,
Do you think it comes from some sort of pain? Because me personally, it did. Like the pain of being average.
yeah, I would say so for sure. I definitely got my experience with working jobs and going to school and shit, and hated it, bro. Hated it. So, like, I never want to go back to that. Trying to stack my millions and chill for life.
The reason why I was like so persistent with it for years, because I, like everybody else, had failures for a long time in the online space. I used to watch FaZe Clan when I was like,
Oh, yeah.
16, 15, 16, even 14. And this was the era when they were living in New York at the New York FaZe house. And it was like all these guys like our age right now, all living together, making content together, playing video games, making a stupid amount of money. And I was like, these guys are living a life that I want to live. And I know it's possible because I watch them every day do it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my pain point, to be like, if I don't have some sort of similar situation as them when I'm a few years older, then I am a failure. Then I am going to be super unhappy with myself.
I think for me to go back to that, I kind of just had a thought come to mind. My dad has also, I'm pretty open about this. I wasn't spoiled really growing up as a kid, but my parents definitely did well for themselves. So watching my dad do that as like a business owner and what he grinded for and like how hard he worked definitely like kind of sparked something in me where I was like, okay, I can't be a disappointment to the family. Like I got to do it too. So like that pressure has always been on for me to like make my dad proud.
Yeah.
Like that's been one of my biggest motivators. Even though now it's like he probably is proud, but doesn't really like say it all that much, and it doesn't really talk about my success. But like, I know deep down he probably like is like, damn.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been a big motivator.
I wonder like where this sort of desire and drive comes from. And I don't think that's something you can really teach. When people come to you, and I'm curious to see what you think because you deal with people that are, in the mud essentially more often than I do. Like, how often do you talk to somebody and you see that they have that fire inside of them versus talking to somebody knowing like you're low-key chalked?
You know what? The first thing that people have to watch when they join my program is an hour worth of mindset videos.
Okay.
Before they can go into anything else. They have to sit there and watch through an hour worth of mindset videos because I know that a lot of people join a program like that, get the mental masturbation of doing it, realize they actually have to put some work in and then like get lazy with it. So like the biggest thing for anyone going into something like that is just shifting their mindset. So like a lot of people don't have that mindset naturally. They have to, I definitely think it's doable to like adapt into that mindset.
Okay.
But I also think a lot of people are born with that. Like it's a genes thing. I always say like business, I think is a lot of a genes thing.
You know who Gary Breckett is?
I don't think so.
It's 10X Health. Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary Breckett is a partner in 10X Health with Grant Cardone. Like that's like their health company. I went to Capital Club, which is like Luke Belmar's, I guess like club or whatever, in Spain in 2023, and I had my DNA results that I went through with 10X Health, and everybody across the entire world typically has 2 or 3 of these specific 7 gene mutations in one way or gene breaks. They can be partially broken or fully broken, and then that can lead to other anxieties, food intolerances, weird kind of habits that you can't really explain. And one of them is a gene for success. And people that tend to have that gene kind of broken or half broken in a way are a little bit more kind of like schizo successful. And they're more driven to the point where they'll make however much money, but still want to be in love with the process and never really be satisfied in a way. So what you just said is very true.
Yeah, I guess now statistically it's proven, scientifically it's proven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always just kind of said that as a thought in my head. Like, I feel like business is a lot of a genes thing. But I guess you just proved that.
What are your goals going into now, 2025, in terms of, you said you want to go to Miami. You're getting the car back in a couple months. You're going to be dripped out in Brickell. I'm assuming that's where you're going.
Yeah, shit. No, I'm still going to be a little fish there, bro.
Well,
I went there like last spring and I was like, damn, I'm broke as fuck. Like,
it's really good to break
it's
limiting
good.
beliefs.
It's humbling. It's humbling.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely a person that understands there's levels to this shit. And I'm at level 1, bro. Like,
No, you're not level 1, bro.
but, okay.
I know what you mean, though.
But, like, that's what it feels like a lot of times. Like, there's still a lot of shit to be done. But as far as goals, I mean, honestly, I'm not good at, like, coming up with goals. I need to, like, sit down and just, like, journal some goals for this year. I haven't done that. But I would definitely say just continue to see where the fuck I can go. YouTube, I definitely want to take YouTube, like, to a crazy number. As crazy as it is to say, I would like to see myself into 2025 at, like, 1 million subs.
What are you at right now?
60-something K, but growing like rapidly, like
Exponential growth.
yeah. Which 1 million in a year would be crazy, but I like to think crazy. So even like 500,000 would be like, damn, that's cool. But I don't really like to make like too much of numbers goals. More of just like, I don't know what the word is, but just kind of like mental goals, not like a physical number, but. I would say scale the agency to where we have probably, I mean, right now we have like 5-6 employees. I'd like to have like 20 by the end of the year. I think one goal, maybe not in the next year. This is maybe like a 3-year goal. And we actually did sit down and come up with goals for the agency, but a 3-year goal would be like have a huge in-person office. I know like Jimmy Farley just did that with
Yeah, in
Creators
South
Corner.
Carolina.
That's so sick, bro. That's a dream of mine. I want to have some shit like that. But yeah, just continue to see where we can take the agency. I'd like to see the agency in the next probably 2 years doing like 8 figs annually. And then the offer, I guess, see where we can take that. It's my biggest goal with that isn't like necessarily scaling it, more so just scaling what's inside of it already. The service delivery, the people inside of it, like seeing where we can help a lot of the people go. I don't know. Goals is like it's hard for me to come up with goals.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm kind of the same way. I don't really believe in goals wholeheartedly. I think it's more so focusing on like what you're doing on a daily basis.
I like to take stuff day by day. That's what I was about to say. Like I like to create like almost goals for the day of like tasks. Like get this done, get this done, get this done, and just see where it takes me. I don't like to like measure success into the future.
I'm the same way as you.
Goal format.
With that, yeah. And I was going to mention too, what's cool about info is like you can kind of pivot and get creative with different things opposed to just an agency being known for one thing or doing one main purpose. So, you see people like Iman who's gone through, SMMA course, now his digital launchpad SaaS with like, that's another info product. And then he has now his new personal 8-figure launchpad or 8-figure whatever creator program. He's just tapping into everything with info. Now, when you were coming up, I just thought of this randomly. Did you ever go through somebody else's info product to learn or no?
No.
Really? So you just kind of did
as
it
much
on your
of
own.
a believer now as I am in like invest your fucking money into info as long as it's the right people that you're investing into. I never did. When I was in crypto, I did crypto for like a year, and I had kind of like a free mentor that I just kind of connected with, and he was doing stupid numbers and just fucked with me for whatever reason. I guess like this was when I was broke, bro. Like I didn't even have 10 grand in my name. But he just like fucked with me for whatever reason, and we're still friends to this day. So he's seen the whole process and believed in me from
That's dope.
like nothing. So yeah, that's really cool. But he was always like a free mentor to me. We were on a call almost every day, just like chilling in a Discord VC, like trading together. This was during the whole like NFT craze,
Like 2021.
So yeah. So during that, but no, never bought anyone's like program. Really.
Wow, that's impressive. There's a couple guys that I know that now run info and do info, and they never went through a program either. And now they say the same thing. It's like, man, I believe in this so much. Like maybe back then, knowing what you know now, back then you probably would have done it if you had the money to do it and execute upon it.
I mean, bro, it took me like 3-4 years to make my first like real dollar online. It probably would have been way faster if I was like investing the money I was making from my 9 to 5 into like some sort of info or something. But and I'm a strong believer too when it comes to ads. It makes so much sense to just buy someone's course or whatever, because ads is just such a thing where you need clarification on every decision you're making. So to have like a mentor or something makes so much sense. But I taught ads, like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, all that stuff, just to myself, just doing it on my own clothing brand. So like I was just testing and figuring it out and just learned, and then got my first couple clients from just like connections I had in the clothing brand owner space. Got them results. That's when I started posting on social media, and everything just started to snowball. I had the inbound leads coming in, and just foot on the gas from there.
Your kind of path in that way is super like parallel to Ben Bader's.
Really?
Yeah, like he was doing SMMA for basketball coaches, and like basketball leagues.
Really?
Yeah, that's how we started, because he was big into basketball, like playing and stuff. And then he loads up Go High Level, downloads a snapshot, and then just starts running a couple agencies for basketball, like local stuff.
Interesting.
And then started getting them results. At some point, he was capped out in terms of like his time, energy, and then their resources, because he really couldn't charge that much because it's like local. And then he started documenting things, and then got in the online space, and then eventually launched his own stuff. And then here he is today. How many clients are you managing on a weekly basis, or right now overall?
Okay, yeah. So right now, like 30 to 40.
Oh, wow.
But I would say our main goal right now is to not go above that and replace a lot of those clients with better quality clients, and then focus on scaling those clients harder. Because a lot of our clients, like we have our solid set of like 10 that are really good and like have like longevity potential to like really go big, and we want to help them get there. But then the other like 20, 30, whatever are kind of just like they'll maybe be around for a year or two and then kind of fizzle out.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of our main focus, is just keeping the clientele about 30 to 40, but replacing it with higher quality clientele.
When people that are clothing brands and they're coming to you, or at least in contact with you, what is your guys' kind of unique positioning to getting them to want to work with you opposed to a different agency?
For sure. I definitely think one of the main things is just like the name we have in the space and the reputation. And a lot of people in the streetwear industry know who we work with, and just like respect us for it and the results that we get. But the biggest thing is, one, that we work solely performance based. So only based off of the results that we're getting people. We do no retainers, no nothing, just percentage of what we're generating you. And that's communicated very clearly up front before signing any sort of contract. They'll be paying us X amount of percentage. So like it makes signing clients really, really easy, being able to say we only work performance based. If we don't get you results, you don't really pay us.
That's
So,
really good.
Yeah, that helps a lot. But aside from that, I would just say, yeah, like the whole kind of personal brand and reputation that we have in the space over the past 2-3 years have definitely built a really solid reputation in the streetwear space. Everyone knows like Brez is the guy to go to. And like a lot of people's like goals for their brand is to get it to a point where they can work with us,
you.
like qualified to work with us.
That's dope. That's a really good high leverage position to be in.
Yeah.
Then with the agency as well, then you said you basically want to, if double, if not triple your employee size, and eventually get like an office space. How are you incentivizing your employees to just want to stick with you and always be by your side and scale the company? Because having A-player teams on your side is just as important as like your job of posting content, essentially.
For sure. People think hiring and firing is just like hiring and firing. It is like a real skill that you have to have as like a business owner. Like it definitely takes a special type of person to be able to like see someone and know whether they're there for the long term or just like trying to make a few dollars with this little side job that they have. So one thing, I think the foundation of employees we have right now is really solid because they're all very like, they fuck with me very heavy because they came through my program and then got a job, and they're very just like loyal to me. So shout out any of them if they're watching this. But another thing is that our media buyers, so the ones who are actually in the ad accounts, like setting creatives up, setting campaigns up, stuff like that, are paid performance based as well. So they're given these clients knowing that, okay, this client has huge potential to scale. If I like actually work my ass off with this client, I can make a lot of money from it. So they're incentivized based off of performance pay. And another thing too is just like they know that I'm working my ass off on my end to scale the agency like vertically. They just have to do like the horizontal things, and if we work together as a team, they know where it can go. So they know they see the future of it as well and know where it can go.
They see the vision, and everybody kind of holds themselves accountable. Do you have any sort of plans with your agency to kind of break out into other niches, or no?
Yeah, we actually have been a little bit recently. We have, we work like in the micro niche of streetwear specifically is like our biggest clients, but we also have like jewelry and like women's clothing and like stuff like that. But we also have some clients like in the healthcare, beauty industry, some in like service-based businesses. One thing we want to branch into for sure is info, ads for info. Because I don't totally know what the market looks like for that, and if there kind of is a little bit of a gap in the market there. I don't totally think so, but I think we could easily enter that market. One, because of Pierre and his connections in the info space, but two, just because of the personal brand I already have, and people know kind of what I'm doing with info, and probably puts a little bit of a valuable reputation on my name.
For sure.
But you know, there's so much fucking money in info that like to be the guy running ads for it, like
Infinite money printer.
yeah. And my info product has never had an ad ran for it. It's all just been organic. We've never ran an ad for it. But I know there's a lot of guys out there who all of their revenue is coming from ads. If ads didn't exist, they wouldn't be able to succeed just with organic. So I know there's a lot of money in the info space when it comes to ads. So we probably at some point would like to branch into that. But our mentor is kind of telling us to right now at least focus on like the micro niche of streetwear.
Just
Build
like
your name there.
marketing has evolved a lot since even you have started in the space, like you said, 2 to 3, maybe 4 years ago, right? So you've seen the space evolve more so now, and like short form just dominating for organic and even ads. From your perspective and what you've seen and what you're doing, where do you see kind of the future of advertising and marketing specifically for retail, like clothing brands, going into this next year here?
That is actually a really good question because AI. I I don't really know what's going to happen with AI. It could be kind of one of two things. I know there's AI softwares already that are running ads for businesses that are getting great results, but I don't think it's sustainable at high scale. So any big brands doing more than, $500,000 a year, like AI can't run their ads right now. It takes way too much like maintenance for it to be able to do it. But I think that will be kind of a big thing come the near future. But I only see marketing online getting bigger and bigger because e-commerce is just getting bigger and bigger. Yep. Everything is moving online. Like a lot of businesses are getting shut down because Amazon and just e-commerce as a whole. So marketing in itself is only going to get bigger. Digital marketing in itself is only going to get bigger. But I don't know exactly how the future of that industry specifically will look with things like AI and stuff coming into play. So one thing I'm definitely on the lookout for right now is a software play. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the next thing I want to branch into, whether it's build my own AI software that runs ads, whether it's, I don't know, some sort of outreach software that will help agency owners or freelance brand scalers continue to scale and have outreach more automated for them.
I do that for people on Instagram.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Like automated?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, and scale it horizontally.
Oh, shit.
Across several accounts.
Okay, well, we got to talk about that after the podcast.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. Software is definitely something that I would like to dabble into because, I mean, bro, there's so much money in that.
Yeah, the margins are crazy.
Yeah. Build the software over the next year or two and then exit that shit. Like Jordan Welch just exited his for, who knows, millions.
Couple million, yeah.
Yeah.
Software is the move, especially white labeling it in the beginning, and then you build up the capital to go ahead and build out your own kind of product. Yeah. For you, obviously, you have the capital ready to deploy and have a custom developer off rip. But for someone that doesn't have that or doesn't have the resources, that's one way you can do it.
And the thing is I have the personal brand too. So if I create a software that can tend to my viewers or people in my program and help them make their job easier, it's a play.
It's exactly what Jordan Welch did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the move.
Exactly.
What do you think of like AI UGC creators?
I don't really know. AI is kind of scary, but like at the same time, it's not because like, I don't know. It can help us in a lot of ways, but it could hurt us in a lot of ways. Like for me, like what does the AI digital marketing future look like? But UGC creators specifically, are you talking like AI automated videos? Like Creo? Daniel Bitton? Yeah, yes. That's crazy.
Rinsing.
Yeah, their software, they're going to exit that for a fuck ton one day, whenever they do. But I think it's cool, bro, because obviously for something like digital marketing at high scale, you need creative volume. So like add creatives. That's the way to really scale. So to be able to have that, more so automated, like, software form, AI, UGC content creation, it's just, you can pump out infinite amounts of creatives.
The volume is crazy.
Yeah, that's where it helps someone like me in my job situation.
Bro, I've been seeing like these people that pop up on Twitter. I follow this guy who has like an OnlyFans management of all AI like girls.
Really?
They're all fake girls. And he's doing like 6 figures a month just from that.
That's
that's like a side thing.
Crazy.
He's like, yeah, I just have like AI girl creators. And then we have like an internal team that does like the contact and messaging inside of OnlyFans and stuff.
Is that fucked up?
People
people are spending money
on a bot, bro. On pixels.
Gosh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it just shows you there's so many ways to monetize.
Yeah.
It's if you have any limiting beliefs, you have a lot of internal work to do. If you think you can't be successful, because it may not be what you're trying now, or maybe your next venture. But as Brez has said, and myself as well, you try something for long enough, you still build the skills trying it that you can carry on into other ventures and stuff like this. But
understand that you are no different from anyone who has done it.
Correct.
Nobody's different than me. Nobody's different than you. Like,
Yeah.
They just have to take action in doing it themselves and understand that they're not different from anyone who's done it.
Exactly. We're running out of time here. So, Brez, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, of course, bro. It was fun.
Yes,
Good
it was. It was. And guys, links are going to be in the description, of course. And as usual, don't be motivated. Stay disciplined. I'll see you in the next video.